Hey, welcome back to the Real MoJo Show. I am your girl, Missy Djomo, and today we're diving into something that I think will be eye opening. We're going to talk about fashion and technology. But before we get started, go ahead and push that like button. Don't forget to share. And I, I'm still building this channel, and every single click I am so thankful for. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Supporting, watching, and growing this community is what I'm aiming to do. And we're going to keep it real on this show. So thank you for joining. So it's my real fam in the house. Let's see who's in the chat. Drop where you are watching from in the chat. I see you on there. Go ahead and drop the chat in there. Let me know that you're here. I see you, real fam. My family is in the chat. Let's see. All right, we're not going to start with computer issues today. All right, we have Happy from Hutto, Texas. Thank you for joining the show today. I was just on the wrong screen. Today is the operator, not the technology. All right, we got Patricia here from LaGrange. Thank you for joining us, Patricia. Benjamin says he's in the gym sweating. Well, come on and sweat and learn about technology that can help your performance with working out. So you may learn something today. Thank you for joining the show, Benjamin. All right. We'll allow a few more people to come in, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So now when you think about fashion, most of us think about beauty, right? So when we think about fashion, we also think about style, identity, and how an outfit makes us feel. So fashion is confidence, right? Fashion is culture. Fashion is fun. Well, today I want to challenge you. I want you to challenge you to think of a bigger question. Can fashion actually protect us or even maybe save us? So think about it. Fashion has always carried some type of power, right? The way you dress can influence how people see you, even how you see yourself. Um, it even can influence the opportunities that come your way. But now fashion is stepping into a whole deeper role, a whole nother realm. Becoming part of our health, part of our safety, and maybe even part of our survival. So, for example, we've all seen how accessories like helmets and reflective jackets save lives on the road, right? I know I have because I work in that industry. But imagine your everyday clothing, right? Bringing designed accessories to the same standard of safety, but without you even thinking about it. What if the shirt you was wearing right now, could detect heart problems before you even felt there was a problem? What if your shoes could keep you from falling? What if a jacket could call for help? Maybe even if you was in an accident. Well, we're living in a world where all things are possible. Literally, they're happening right now. This is what we call fashion technology or fashion wearable technology. And it's the future, but actually, it's really today, as our guests will share with you. And here are some things I know of as you're thinking, Missy, I just want my clothes to be cute, right? I know I do. I'm always, you know, dressing for success. And you probably say you don't want to look like a robot. Well, I hear you. But the truth is, today's smart fashion isn't just chunky, unattractive clothing. it can actually be very designer and fashion forward, cutting edge cutting edge technology and style together. So we are going to talk about it. So we have a very special guest today. He's he's even more special to me because he is my big brother. And we're going to bring him on today, and his name is Mr. Samuel Alexander. So, welcome, my big brother Samuel Alexander, to the show. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank everyone for coming tonight.
So, tell us tell us about yourself. I know all about you, but let's tell our guests.
Well, you invited me on to talk about my company, but I'll start out a little bit about my life history as far as the fashion industry. I started with Levi Strauss as my first job, and went from there to Gloria Vanderbilt, Jones New York, Manhattan Industry, Jonathan Martin, Jonathan Logan, and I pretty much developed all the major companies throughout the world and developed them here in the U.S. I've been in retail all the way through to the manufacturing part of the wholesale end of the business. I My company C2C Fashion and Technology, we specialize in smart products. We also specialize in quality of life, meaning that all your products have to bring a quality of life to you. We start out by looking at the problems of our industry. The fashion industry is a $2.5 trillion industry. We are responsible for 10% of the carbon waste for the whole world. We are responsible for 20% of the water waste for the whole world. And 80% of our products end up in a landfill. And this is the last quarter of my life. And my goal has been to make our industry more sustainable. And the way that I've done that is created smart factories, smart networks, smart products for smart cities. We focus in on Internet of Things, IoT. The Internet of Things is that everything will be connected. The only thing that will have value are the things you cannot connect. I specialize in nano biotech smart products. My goal is to bring companies to life that have ideas. People come to me with their ideas, and we take it from the concept all the way through to the life cycle of the product in production and sales. And basically, we're looking for a quantity of life versus a quality of life. Is that okay, Miss Margie?
Wow. Yeah, every time Sam speaks, I'm just blown away. His hands is just in so many things. I literally cannot catch up. So, well, thank you, Sam, for
You told
joining.
me to tone it down tonight, so I'm toning it down. Okay.
Well, you're doing great. You're doing great. So we're gonna get into a few questions. Before I do, I have to greet a few more people. I see my real fam in the chat. Hi, that Chucky, Yolanda. Thank you for joining. Ebenezer, we're glad that you're here. Oh, Ebenezer actually just said my helmet saved me in a motorcycle accident. Yes, absolutely. We are glad that you had that helmet on. Yolanda, she says, cute and functional moving forward. Yes, we're gonna talk about that today. Uh, Josie said, "That's right. You're always elegantly dressed. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you." Yolanda, smart fashion, yes. And Patricia says, welcome, big brother. All right, so we are going to jump into the meat and potatoes of this episode of technology and fashion. So the first question is, what inspired you to merge fashion with technology?
After being in the fashion industry for over 50 years, and I saw the changes that were coming in our industry, I also, there was very little people that were developing technology for our industry. So back in the early 90s, I developed the first Microsoft software for the fashion industry, and most of industry had been running on our software for over 15 years. When I saw Microsoft introduce SQL Server, I realized that there was going to be a change in the technology. So I gave my partner the company that we had developed, and I developed a new company, C2C Fashion and Technology. Basically, I saw cloud technology for the first time from Microsoft, and we developed our first cloud platform back in 2002. It was a complete cloud-based system based for the fashion industry. And that's what got me into the technology part of it. But after I got into the technology part, I realized that fashion was going to change. So we started looking at how can we integrate technology into the fashion. And so that's how I've gotten to the point now. And it's been a long road of processing because it's a whole new paradigm that we're working on now.
All right. And actually, we have a little short video about the company, so I'm gonna go ahead and play that so that we can show everyone kind of an idea of what you're talking about.
Am I the only one that didn't know fashion could be this smart? Let's dive in. At C2C Collab, we're not just dreaming about the future of fashion, we're building it. Our platform is the ultimate hub for fashion tech entrepreneurs to create, collaborate, and innovate. Imagine combining cutting-edge materials with advanced functionality to craft smart, utilitarian fashion. That's what we do. We're talking about integrating nanobiotech into your everyday wear. Think clothing that's not just stylish, but also boosts performance, comfort, and sustainability. And it doesn't stop there. Our state-of-the-art virtual workspace brings together the brightest minds in tech and fashion for seamless collaboration. Need expert guidance? We've got you covered with top-tier incubation services, mentorship, and a global network of partners. Whether you're developing the next big thing in utilitarian sportswear or smart products, we're here to help you scale and thrive. Join us on this exciting journey.
Uh-oh.
That's the end.
All right. So it said, join us on this exciting journey. I guess that's where it was supposed to end. So tell us a little more about this exciting journey. Uh-oh, I think I froze completely.
I'm still here. Margie?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Now I just want to make sure that you know I was here. Yeah, this has been a process for me for developing the technology. Basically, I took and created 5 enterprise platforms and stacked them on top of each other. When I mean stack is that they communicate from one platform to the other, and they're all enterprise systems. And people always ask me, well, who is your competition? I really have no competition. And the issue is right now, most of the people that thought they were my competition are coming to me. So we created a new division called C2C Fast Tech. And C2C Fast Tech is an API app integration system. Application programming interface is what API stands for. So we can take other companies and interface them into our platform. And so we create software as a service for the people that are on our platform. And at this point, we have 150 companies that are integrated into our platform, and those 150 companies are in over 20 different countries, and we also offer our program in 30 languages. So when you sign up, the platform actually changes to the language of the country that you're from. We are right now in the process of building factories. As everyone knows, everyone's trying to reshore back. We've already built 2 factories here in the U.S. One is actually here at Holland Mall. It was the first advanced manufacturing facility built in the U.S. and people come from all over the world to see this factory. And we just expanded it, and we have 20 design stations in there for 20 designers. And it's pretty much a waiting list now for the designers. So we're giving them an opportunity to develop their products and utilize the new technologies that are available. What we focus in on is VR, AR, MR, XR technology, virtual reality, mixed reality, extended reality technologies to be able to create a different dimension for presenting products. So we've integrated all of those into the platform. Then we have artificial intelligence, and everybody is on the hype of AI right now. But I've been working with AI for the last 10 years, and our programs have already been developed. Everybody else is chasing the AI programs now. And we are actually looking more at autonomous technology, which is actually processing the data at the point of collection versus having to move it through the internet. So we're working on a lot of advanced technology in that aspect. So we work with AI, and then we work with bots and robots. A lot of our technology, if you don't understand it, we'll have a bot assistant or an agent there to help you with understanding of our technology. We also work with Web3, and Web3 technology is the new financial system. Web3, basically, you're looking at tokenization. Tokenization is a terminology that everybody needs to get used to. If you hadn't really paid attention to it, your president just made $4 billion off of tokenization in the last 6 months. And if you don't believe it's coming, you better start paying attention to it, because that's where we're headed to in the Web3 technology. Web 1 was just connecting computers. Web 2 was actually being able to communicate within the platforms. Web 3 is verifiable, meaning that all of the databases in Web 3 are verified on the blockchain, meaning that a lot of the jobs that exist now will not exist anymore, because we won't have the middlemen in the middle of everything anymore. It'll be direct. And also on your cash transactions, your digital currencies will replace a lot of the Swift and type programs that are out there now. You've got XRP, which is now the platform between the crypto platforms and the banks, and that's going to be a major player to replace Swift. So you've got a lot of things going on that people really aren't paying attention to, that they need to start paying attention to. And the biggest one is tokenization. And tokenization there's 4 types of tokens. There is a utility token, which is your marketing, branding, and product development token. There's a security token, meaning that all your data, instead of going into Google and Apple and Facebook, you'll be able to protect your data with an AI security token. Then you have a transaction token, which will handle all your digital transactions. And then you have an NFT. And everybody was all hyped up on NFTs a few years back, but they don't really understand it. NFTs show value of property. So those are your 4 tokens. And then you have stable coins. And stable coins are what everybody's jumping into, because they can stabilize them by connecting them to the dollar. So that's what you're seeing happening with the stable coins. The dollar equals whatever the stable coin is at that. Stable coin equals whatever the dollar is at that time. So I know that's a lot of quick information, but go ahead and ask me a question, so I'll slow down.
What I forgot, what is NFT real quick?
You have non-fungible tokens, but that shows value of anything. That's a value. That's how you'll show value. And just to give you an idea, everything will be verified, so you won't need patents or anything like that anymore. They'll be verified on the blockchain. You won't need a lot of legal things, because it'll be built into whatever products you're building. You can ask the questions as you're going, so you'll be able to be compliant with all the legal things that you have to deal with. There's a lot of things that AI can do as an assistant. Most people think that AI is going to take their jobs, but AI is not going to take people's jobs. Someone using AI is going to take your job. And if you don't learn how to use it fast enough and realize it's like going from having a shovel to having a bulldozer. And most people cannot compete against a bulldozer with the shovel that they're using right now. And they're going to find that out shortly. And then when you look at IoT, everything that can be connected will be connected. And that's what you're seeing happening with all the smart products. They're connecting to the city, they're connected to your home, connected to your car. Everything, if you hadn't noticed, is connecting right now.
So, and I guess we're gonna come back around and see how all this is connecting to our fabrics. We have a question. Where can we find your products?
Okay. When you say my products, let me explain that to you. The people that I develop products for, I develop their products with their labels. So you'll see a lot of those products already in the market, but they're not products that are my products. They're products that we develop for those companies. As far as the products that we're about to start developing, I'm about to launch a hemp denim made to measure line. So where you can actually have custom made jeans made to measure with our technology. We have the ability to scan you and create an avatar. Then that avatar, you can actually design your own jeans, and within 5 days they'll be at your house, custom made to measure.
Wow.
So that's what I have the denim samples here now. We're getting ready to start that up. Then we have all the hemp products in the denim, and we also do hemp knits, and then we're doing cactus leather. And cactus leather is biodegradable. We have a factory in Mexico that we're starting to work with that on. So I'm developing a complete sustainable product line that will all be made to measure. The second thing that we're doing is we're about to put a retail store here in Austin. The first one we built will be in the Beverly Center in Los Angeles. The second one is going to be here in Austin. And everybody's familiar with Rent the Runway, all the other rental places online that you can rent clothing. We're going to put a physical store here in Austin that you can actually rent clothing, and bring it back. Go in the store, pick out what you want, try it on, rent it, bring it as much as you want. We have major labels that we already have, which I can't say anything about right now, but have already signed agreements with us because they can't burn their products anymore. So they're going to let us have all their excess products to be able to rent in the store. And I'm talking major labels that everybody else is buying as knockoffs right now. You'll be able to go in and rent them and bring them back to the store. So you can have a new couture line anytime you want to and dress in couture and without having to buy it.
Wow. Dress in couture without having to buy it. Did y'all hear that?
Rent it all day long. You can be the couture diva of the world without having to go buy a fake handbag.
That is amazing. I'm really looking forward to that. You talked about sustainable. Why is that? Can you give us a picture of why that's so important? So sustainable fashion. Because I
Right
heard
now,
you say something about not being able to burn their clothing anymore. So
yeah.
if you could kind of explain that to us just a little bit. We just want to touch a little bit on it so we can keep going, but I want people to understand about this.
Well, right now you have to be you have to show the life cycle of a product to be able to ship it into California and into Europe right now. And that's probably going to expand shortly into the whole world. And you have to be carbon neutral by the year 2030. So that 8 to 10% of the carbon that we produce each year, somebody's going to have to pay for that. That's what carbon neutral means. It means that you're going to have to buy carbon credits to offset your carbon exposure to the universe.
Wow.
So the other thing is on the water supply. We as an industry, we are 20% of the pollution for the whole world. We have a new dyeing process that we can open a fiber, insert the dye, lock it, and you can't even bleach it out. So you won't get any wash off in your washing machine, and you can't bleach the colors
I
out.
like
So
that.
so you don't need water to even do the dyeing process, which is a
Wow.
major portion of the dyeing. We also have technologies where with water that has been used with dyes, we can take the dyes out of the water and now reuse the dyes and the water. So there's a lot of new technologies that are developed out there and being developed that are going to make things more sustainable, because with Africa, China, and India starting to consume and waste raw materials the way that we do here in the US, there's going to be a major problem with raw materials going forward. And that's why we're focused in on hemp. Hemp produces 8 times more product on an acre of land than cotton does. It also uses 1/8 of the water, and it is biodegradable. It's also antibacterial, antifungal, and it has the same tensile strength as steel. And there's 50,000 products that we could make from hemp. So
Wow.
hemp will probably save this country, to be honest with you.
50,000 products. So I'm gonna love to hear about that. We're gonna so I let me stay on the technology because I have a whole slew of questions about using hemp, but we're gonna have to come back to that. So can you so we're gonna go back to the technology side. So can you kind of walk me through some examples of like the life-saving aspect of technology in fabrics or
Okay.
the quality of life
Yeah.
of fabric?
The first wearable product that I developed was a motorcycle jacket with signal lights on the back and LED. And then we had solar beads built into the jacket to charge the battery with solar power. And we had GPS in the shoulders that tapped you on the shoulder and told you which direction to go. And it turned the signal lights on automatically because you were connected to your smartphone.
Wait, it turns your signal lights on
the jacket automatically with whenever it taps you on the shoulder to tell you which direction to turn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then we had we're actually changing that over now to we're using fiber optics, and the whole jacket will become a visual display and give visibility for motorcycle riders and also for the kids that are on the scooters and on bicycles. And we have motion detectors in the sleeves for the signal lights on the bicycles and scooters.
Wow. Wow. That is
So there's all kinds of chips and things that we're embedding in the fabrics and things. And what you wanted to ask me about earlier was quality of life. We have all kinds of technology that can actually monitor your vitals. And we use AI to do predictive analytics to tell you what may go wrong with you. So that's what we're looking at, working a lot more on preventive medicine and being able to find things that may happen to you before they happen by monitoring your health cycle. And with your security token, that data will be secure within your database for you to use on your own without having to give it up to all the major companies.
Okay, so that's how the
Web3 technology
token
works. Yeah.
connects with the fashion. Okay, wow, I am learning something tonight. That is quite interesting. So
What people really need to pay attention to right now is the Web3 tokenization technology, and forget about AI. AI has been around for 60 years. It's going to be around. It's a tool. It's just another tool. It's not going to make everybody rich. And when people realize the cost of processing AI, you're going to see people running from it quickly because it's very expensive to process and very energy consumptions in the processing of artificial intelligence. So that's going to be the biggest prohibitor from AI is the cost of processing the data. If you'll notice, most of the big companies they're chasing the ball right now because they ended up dumping all their data and put too much data into AI. When you deal with AI, you got to train it like a baby. You can't give it too much information, and you got to give it the information you want it to have. Because if you throw a bunch of data at it, it's going to confuse it. So you got to train AI like a baby. And a lot of these guys didn't do that, and that's why they had so many problems with it on the third go. Think about that. Microsoft had to buy 40% of OpenAI just to catch up. Those are guys that are spending billions of dollars, and they're playing catch up. People should really pay attention.
yeah, I actually said that last week. Our last week's program was about AI, and I said AI is like you said, like a baby, and billions of people is teaching, and then you're trying to figure out, okay, which one is it listening to, and that could be dangerous.
Right.
So exactly.
And when you get into generative AI, you've taken down all of the barriers, and so you don't have any barriers for it to control it. And AI, if you don't control it, it can get way out of control. And if you talk to any of the guys that really are experienced in it, they'll tell you that we have to be real careful with AI. And if you remember when it first started, a couple of the major companies had to shut it down because it created its own language and was communicating in its own language, and they didn't understand what it was talking about.
That is scary. So, okay, well, okay. So, um, I didn't know that. So that kind of took me by surprise that AI was talking in its own language.
And
Yeah, that's
they didn't
scary.
have a clue at what it was saying. Yeah.
Oh, we have a question, real quick from Patricia. So, what would some of the clothing cost? Patricia, I guess like what he was speaking about, like the jacket, is that kind of what you were asking about? Like, how much would a jacket that has that built-in technology cost? Samuel,
Let's
I
say it
was
again.
asking.
How much? Oh, jacket. Like it depends on the product, and as if you're doing on-demand customization, your price will be varied on the components and things that you ask to put into the product. But like for instance, a T-shirt for us, and we have a T-shirt that does the GPS also it in the shoulders, and it does all the monitoring that your smartwatch does. We sell that T-shirt at retail for $150.
So a
So
t-shirt with that technology would be about 150.
$150, and we have an LED T-shirt that anything you put on your phone will come up on the T-shirt, and that T-shirt runs for like $150. We have a backpack with digital screen on the back that you can do anything on the backpack that's on your
Like
screen
the
on your phone.
computer.
Yeah, so it'll come up
Oh,
on the back of the backpack, and it's all Bluetooth into the product. We use Bluetooth Wi-Fi for everything.
that is amazing. So we have another question. I do work for for a hospital, and I'm wondering if I came up with an innovative idea that can improve the workflow of healthcare workers. Would you be open to hear me and come up with a smart uniform?
That's the things that I work with every day is people like her that come to me with ideas, and we help them from the concept and prototyping into developing the product into a complete prototype. So yes, that's what we do every day for companies.
Okay.
So
Um,
yes is the answer. Yes.
so yes, you'll have to. What I'll do is I'll leave Samuel's information in the description, or Sam, you can share your information too once we're done. But um, make that connection. So that's wonderful. Um, Ben says, as much as I appreciate technology, I think we as humans are taking it too far. So what do
That
you
would be that would be like when somebody invented the car. They say they're taking it too far by putting the horse and buggy out of business. You know, I mean, we're gonna change is inevitable, and the only thing that makes people move to the next level is to open their minds up and say, okay, I have to accept these changes and I have to learn how to deal with them. There's always opportunity that comes out of these changes. You have to be looking for those opportunities.
Wow, yes, I definitely agree. The only thing that's constant is change.
Change,
So
yeah.
um, we have 12 watching and only 5 likes. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Show this channel some love. Patricia says, "Wow, GPS and t-shirts." I know. I'm wowed by that too. I'm gonna go look for one of those $150 shirts. I'm gonna have to try it out.
We just launched a fabric at NASA, and the fabric is a carbon fiber, and we insert the carbon fiber into the actual fibers of the shirt, and it harvests the heat from your body, turns it into far infrared, redirects it back into your skin, and it decreases your cortisol and increases your nitric oxide. Which means that if you have we for kids that have seizures and things like that, it'll help them with their seizures, and anybody that has stress, it'll help them with their stress. It helps you to sleep better, and then it increases your nitric oxide level, which is your healing capacity, and for men, it helps them with their performance.
Oh, well, you had me at sleep better, and then you had me again at the men's performance. What
Yeah,
about how about that? How about that for those of you in the chat? It'll help with men's performance. That's quite interesting. So let me ask you this, Sam. So what challenges have you found in producing this technology in fashion products?
the biggest problem that we have right now are finding people that are qualified for all the new jobs that are coming available, because most of the people are stuck in the last paradigm that they've been living in for the last 20, 30 years. And there hasn't been a whole lot of change in those years. And this is probably the largest paradigm shift that anyone's ever going to be seeing in the history of the world. And there's only a few people. I lecture at the different universities, and just when I sit there and I watch those kids, and there's usually maybe 3 to 4 kids that get it and understand that they have to quit looking for a job, because a job someday will be related to the same term as slavery. And you'll realize that when the master told everybody on the plantation that we have a cotton picker now and you don't have to pick no cotton no more and you're free, you know what the slave said? But master, what are we going to do? You feed us, you give us food, you clothe us, you give us a place to live, and you give us medicine. And that's kind of like a job. When they tell you you're gone, they laid off all these people. They said, but master, I need a job. I don't know what to do on my own. People are going to have to learn how to become independent, and start their own businesses, and learn how to survive on their own, because the job, it will be looked at as the word slavery someday.
Oh wow, I can't even imagine that. That is very interesting. I mean, sometimes you already feel like a slave on your job, but I can actually see that. I
But
can see that because of technology. I definitely can.
well, anybody that has a robotic job or a repetitious job, it's over with, because you got AI and robots that'll be able to take over those positions now. Let me
Yes.
give you an example of what we have so you can kind of get a bigger picture. We have agents. Okay. I can send an agent out to the web, out into the internet, and tell it to go find all the customers that can buy my products. I'll make it simple. They can buy my products. I can give it more specific detail. That agent will go out into the internet and scrape the whole global internet and put together an account list for me, and bring it back to our technology and insert it into our customer relationship management program, CRM. Then that customer relationship management will use AI to write an introductory marketing letter to that customer based on the database that the scraper has scraped. That then that particular letter is sent back out through an email to the customer. Then you have a transactional bot that will work with the customer to help them to learn how to work within our system and buy any of our products. Then you have cryptocurrency that you can pay for the product. We accept Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana for all of our products and services. If we have a company that needs to pay an invoice from one company to the other, they can pay their invoices with crypto versus dollars now, anywhere in the world. Bypass
So,
SWIFT completely.
so here's an example. If those of you in the chat was wondering where can you use cryptocurrency, because that was a question that I have had. You can use it with C2C. All right. So we have a question in the chat. So do you have a way that people can submit ideas?
Yeah, you can go to our website, concept2consumption.com, and sign up and be able to contact us through there, concept2consumption.com. Or if you want to contact me directly, you can use info@concept2consumption, the number 2.com.
Info at
Concept to the number 2 consumption.
concept2consumption.com. All right. We had someone in the chat say, "Thank you, sir. That was well said." Y'all, please hit that like button. We are okay. So we're going to go on. How do you see wearable technology influencing mainstream fashion in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, most of the products that you'll buy going forward will have a utilitarian process to them, because as we move forward, you're going to find that right now for these young kids, the Jeep is the new Mercedes and BMW, and the Yeti is their new Rolex, because they don't want to show people that they work for a living. They want to show people that they have a quality of life, that they enjoy their lives. So that's going to be the focus of the consumer going forward. And it's going to go back to what was happening. Everything repeats itself, like in the 60s and 70s, peace, love, and happiness. That's what we're headed back to, because as inflation continues to put the cost of living at a point to where people can't afford to live the fantasy that they think they're living. And when they realize that they don't own anything in this country, they're all tenant farmers. They don't, the only people that own anything are BlackRock, Fidelity, Cargill, and those guys. They own everything that we deal with every day. And when they wake up and realize that, then they're going to look at a quality of life. How do I have a quality of life? Our time is the only asset that we own, and we'll lease our time out all day long instead of using our time to give us a quality of life. And that's what everyone should be focusing on, is how do I use my time to give me a quality of life? Not how do I sell my time, but how do I let my time make me money versus selling my time for money.
I always have said that time is our most valuable asset, because that's something we can't get back,
Nope.
And that's why you don't want anybody. That's why I don't want anybody wasting my time.
Yeah. And you don't want to wait till you're old to try to enjoy your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I have another question here. Fashion is often exclusive. How can tech-driven fashion be made affordable?
Well, our fashion is affordable because we've cut all the middlemen out. There's a 600% markup from the factory to the consumer on products that people don't realize. Like, for instance, if a product costs me $100 to make in the factory, by the time it gets to the consumer, it's $600. That's how much markup is in the products. But when we cut out all the middleman and cut out all the costs of production and the overproduction, we know that 35% of the products that we make will not sell. So we have to put that into the markup for the markdown. So that's built.
35% won't sell.
Won't sell. Yeah, it's always 35% of every product production we make is overproduction, and that 35% has to be figured into the downside. So whoever's buying the first percentage of the products pay for the markdown.
Wow.
So we add that in up front. So it's just a lot of numbers games that, and we work, people don't realize that our industry is STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And the art from our standpoint is not the designers. The art is the person that's sewing that garment that has to have the skill set to make that garment into a product. That's the hardest part of our industry, not the design part. Right now, I have technology that can design anything at the punch of a button. I can tell it what I want it designed. It'll design it. Not only will it design it, it'll create the tech pack for me, the technical requirements. It'll do everything. AI has basically replaced all of that. The part that most people have to realize, the only skill that you have that we value right now is your creative skill. Your creative skill to be able to use these technologies to help us develop new concepts and new ideas. Because if you sit back thinking that I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, we don't need any blacksmiths.
Exactly. that
And
is,
somebody asked that question earlier. It's when the car was invented, there was a lot of people that said, "Oh no, that's going to kill a lot of people. I'm not getting in that thing. And what am I going to do with my horse?" You don't hear anybody concerned about the blacksmith or the horse now, do you? And you want to talk about people that didn't want to evolve? Where's Kodak at now? What is BlackBerry at now? Where's Blockbuster at now? And I can keep going down the list of people that didn't want to change. And people think that these companies are too big to fail. There's been a whole bunch of them that vanished from the face of the earth, and they were major companies that are not here anymore. And you're about to see a whole bunch more because they don't understand Web3 technology. And if you've got a bunch of employees and a bunch of overhead, Web3 is going to wipe you off the map because we can do things globally with the punch of a button that most people can't do with 500 employees.
yeah, that, wow, it's just mind blowing. And I, people better catch up. That's all I can say.
Now,
Um,
people need to wake up. They need
Wake
to
up
wake up.
and catch up.
Well,
Wake,
catch up is not a
wake,
problem. All you got to do is pay attention to what's
pay
going on.
attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. So, we have a question in the chat. What would your advice? Would you? What would be your advice to the younger generation who are inspired by your knowledge?
Right now, you have to dig into and research and continue. I think that YouTube is probably the best educational tool that you can really dig into because there's interviews on there with some of the top people in the world talking about specific things that are changing and how they're changing them. And if you're not keeping up with that, if you're watching this continually sliding the screen up and down, you need to go in there and really listen to some of these guys that are making the changes right now. And I'm not going to really pump up Elon Musk, but Elon Musk has probably been one of the largest innovators in the world. And now he's still innovating and developing new concepts and ideas. The problem is, how does the world catch up to him? And he even himself the other day said that his electric car is falling behind because China is outperforming him in the electric car business. And we can't even get them here in the US because they have such a high duty on them. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the world. People have to realize we live in a third world country. We just don't acknowledge it yet.
That's interesting. I'm gonna have to think on that one.
No, this is a third world country. Our infrastructure is in trouble. Our government's in trouble. Everything about this country is gone. With $37 trillion in the red right now, we got $6 trillion worth of debt that has to be refinanced here in the next 60 days. 6 trillion. You know, there's only 20 countries in the whole world that have $1 trillion GDP. 20 countries in the whole world.
I didn't know that, but that's interesting. That is interesting. Jay says he agree. I'm thinking I'm not sure what you agree on. I'm sorry, Jay. It's been a while. I saw that you sent that, but one of our last questions today is going to be, what excites you the most about the future of fashion technology?
Well, what excites me the most is what's happening is that in this paradigm shift, there's nothing but opportunity for those that are willing to see it. And they have, so many people base their lives on their perspectives, and they worry about what happened to them in the past and what might happen to them in the future, that they don't realize that every time they learn something new or they have a new experiences, their perspective on that situation changes. The only thing that you have to be able to condition yourself to right now and put yourself in the now. And the now is only for the moment. And it's the hardest thing in the world is keep this moment and to be in that moment, because that's where the only opportunities are. So as far as what I see in fashion and technology, I see nothing but opportunity coming forward, because as people want more of a quality of life, they're willing to spend more money on those type products, and they're going to pay more attention to those type products.
I do agree with that too. So, well, I'm looking for questions in the chat. I haven't seen any more. We have a statement that change is inevitable, and that is very true.
But,
and
Josie asked, what would I advise younger generations to do right now? They just need to, and I go back to that again, because I want to emphasize your creative skills are the best skills for you to be looking at how to use them right now. And as far as going and learning what's in a book right now, that's great to learn about the past, and because the past always repeats itself. But right now, there's so much going on in the future that you really need to get prepared for that. And that's where I would put my preparation now, is in learning all the new things about what's coming and being able to adapt to them. This every 90 days is a new generation in technology.
Every 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So is pretty much just constantly changing,
And
just like
she also asked what would as far as education goes, uh, everybody needs a basic education. But as far as what I suggest for people is to go and get certifications. Your certifications are going to take you further than your education right now. And if you can be certified in these new technologies, even at my age, I've gone back in this year alone and been certified in 2 different areas. One of them, I went back to UT and took a 6 month training course in coding for AI. Not that I want to code. I want to know everything is about coding of AI. And then I also came out of the city with certification in sustainability. And I was also went back to UT and got certification in circular economy. So sustainability and circular economy are going to be major issues going forward, because, as I said, we're about to run out of raw materials. And all you're going to hear about is how do we get more raw materials?
So how would we get more raw materials?
Well, hemp is one of our solutions, because we can produce more hemp without pesticides. And hemp is a weed. That's why they call it weed, because it grows continuously 12 months a year. You don't have a crop season for hemp. It just keeps growing. You cut it down and it grows more.
Never thought about that. Okay. So I have been hearing the evolution of using hemp in more things. So that's
Well,
why, because you can grow it.
you also can get graphene from hemp.
What's that?
You also can get graphene from hemp.
I've heard of uh, graphene. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we use it. We're
No,
actually
it's really strong.
my
It's a
partners.
material.
Yeah, my partners specialize in hemp, and I'm also on the advisory committee for Global Hemp Society. And we are developing a whole infrastructure here in the U.S. with from building supplies, pet food, medicines, everything you can imagine. That 50,000 products. That's a huge amount of products that we can create from one crop. And when you start looking at all the things that we can create, and also you can get graphene, which we use for brake shoes and liners, and also for car parts. So the auto industry is tied into us with graphene. And then your batteries, you can get a graphite battery, graphene battery.
Wow. I was looking into graphene a little bit. I'm gonna have to go back and study it a little more, since since it seems like that's where we're going. So okay, well, Samuel, we thank you so much. I don't see any other questions in the chat, but you have overfilled us. It's like drinking from a water hose. That's what I feel like. I don't know about anybody else, that I am drenched from everything that you have shared tonight. And I'm definitely going to do my homework and go look up some of this. And make sure you all visit C2C Samuel's website. I'm sure he has lots of information there, lots of videos. He has a YouTube page. He has lots of videos on his YouTube page. Because if you're like me, this is a lot of information that we've taken in tonight. So you can actually go take your time and go to his web page.
No, go to the UT C2C. It's called C2C Fast Tech on our and there's over 120 videos there that will explain this in detail and more in the different areas. And it nothing but opportunity now. So you guys need to really take advantage of what's coming. And if you stay in the same pipeline that you've been in, it's not going to work, because all these people are going to lose their jobs faster. There's no space in between. But yeah, that's fine. That's it.
All right, I put it in the chat, but don't go away, chat. All of you in the chat, we have another guest today, because fashion is just not saving lives in the high tech world, but it's also happening right here in your communities. So thank you, Sam. Thank you for joining us. We're going to bring up Charlotte, and we hope to hear from you again, Samuel, have you on the show again, because this was very informative. Thank you. So that I don't know about y'all, but I took in a lot of information just then. It was a lot of great information, but we are going to take this opportunity to invite another guest. We're going to invite, she's not a stranger to the show. She's been on the show before. Her name is Dr. Shirlette. I hope I don't say it wrong. Oriaki. Did I say it right?
You said it perfect. You said it perfect. Thank you. And I
Yeah.
know it's not easy. So just the fact that you said it right the first time, I commend you.
All right. I'm
And
so
thank you for
excited.
having me again.
So Shirley, she's a passionate advocate and founder of this shoe collection efforts. And I'm going to allow her a little time to tell us about herself and tell us about this effort in collecting shoes and how shoes can save your life. Go ahead, Shirley. I'm
Thank
going to give the
you.
floor to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Missy. So I am Dr. Shirlette Fowler Oriaki. I am one of the founders of Manifest Home Health. And so what Manifest Home Health is we're a skilled home health agency driven to serve the community. And as we were cultivating our organization, I really wanted a lot of focus to be placed on community, community education, community outreach. What can we do to serve the community? And so this idea was given to me. It just came out of nowhere, souls to souls. I'm very passionate about making sure seniors remain in their home, remaining
What is
safe.
the name of it again? We didn't
It,
actually.
it it's kind of play on words. It's souls to souls. So SOLES to SOULS. So what our drive is and our goal is to get seniors in safe footwear so that they are not falling in their homes and having catastrophic outcomes.
All right, yeah, that's very important. I never really thought about this until you brought it to my attention. You know, having an elderly mom who she fell several times, and she
Mhm.
just because of her age and health, she refused to have any type of surgeries because she was always afraid that she wouldn't come through. And so I thought this was an excellent um, uh, um, outreach that you have going. So I had to have you here to share that information
Thank
because,
you.
you know, not just with advanced technology, a simple shoe, safe shoe can save an elderly's life. So that is really good. So what maybe I don't know if I missed it, but what just really inspired you?
So what my real inspiration, Missy, is my nurse experience. I've cared for a lot of seniors over the past 25 years. I've been in specifically in home health for the past 20. I've seen some of the forever changes that can happen in a senior's life from one fall. And many seniors experience multiple falls, and then that one catastrophic one that can lead to surgery, impaired mobility that sometimes is not ever where they're not ever able to regain their previous independence. So what we want to do is just make sure that they're able to remain independent in the home. That's what everyone wants. They want to stay in their home and they want to be as independent and have vitality for as long as they possibly can.
Yes, that is. I never knew how important that was for a senior until my mom. She refused to leave her home. She said that is the place that she's going to leave this
Mhm.
earth from.
Right.
So
That's what they
I
want.
yeah, her being independent that way. So that is so true. So um so why do you feel that shoes play such a vital role in preventing falls and saving lives?
So I know that for many seniors, okay, so let me just give you some statistics, right? About 14 million seniors fall.
Oh,
Let's see, because
14
I did
million.
make notation. About 30, yeah, about 14 million seniors fall every year. That's 1 in 4 seniors, which is a very high number, right? Now, I'm not saying that all their falls are directly related to footwear, because of course you have other mitigating factors, maybe medications, maybe their cognition is altered. But for about 55% of those people, footwear can directly impact the outcomes as to whether or not they're falling. About 3 million of those result in an ER visit. About 1 million results in surgeries from fractures that are sustained. And like I said, for many of those people, once they sustain that hip fracture, that big femur bone fracture, they're not as able to recover as some people. And for a lot of seniors, they have chronic illnesses. Sometimes they're aware of it, sometimes they're not, like the osteoporosis, where their bones are weakened, the osteopenia. Um, and so by them not knowing, and sometimes them knowing, a fall, they understand it's catastrophic. So you can imagine if a senior can afford to have the proper footwear, they would. So a lot of times financial, situations can keep them from getting the footwear they need.
And that's what I was just about to ask. What challenges do elderly people face when it comes to finding proper footwear? And so maybe cost is one of the challenges.
Right.
Oh
And for
wow.
you and I, something as simple as, oh, I need a new pair of shoes. We run to Academy or to whatever footwear store we can, and we just get it sized out, we try them on, and we
Mm.
leave, right? And there's a lot of things that we typically take for granted in that whole process. The getting in your own car, the being able to try on the shoes, having access to transportation. So those are things that are kind of impactful in a senior's life, things that we don't necessarily consider to be barriers to them obtaining that. For us, are barriers for them. And in some instances, they have the shoes, but they're worn out. The bottoms are slippery. Or they have their favorite pair of house shoes that they want to wear, and maybe they haven't been educated about the importance of the stability of a good shoe.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because
I
a house
see it.
shoe.
Or they walk around in their socks
Yeah,
and they're not thinking about slipping and falling. Yeah.
I was gonna say yeah, probably because a house shoe you could just slide in real quick. It's probably
Mhm.
more
Yeah.
convenient, especially if they have mobility issues with bending over or trying to tie a shoe
Yes.
or something like that. Yeah,
Yes.
my mom likes her house shoes. Let me tell you that much. She slipped them,
Yes.
slip and go, which could cause you to actually slip, right? So,
Yes, absolutely. That's the thing is the more comfortable the shoe is, or I shouldn't rather say, that's the wrong thing to say. The more easy it is to slide your foot into the shoe a lot of times, the easier it is for that shoe to come up. I had a patient who, and it was financially motivated too, so we had to get her connected with some social work, but she wore shoes that were too big, which ultimately led to a fall, and then she wasn't even aware that she fractured her kneecap. It was several days later that she started to experience the pain, and then it got excruciating. And then the x-ray revealed that she had a fractured patella. So there are so many mitigating factors that interfere with seniors getting the proper footwear. And so this was what's prompted me to make this an endeavor to get seniors and disabled individuals access to shoes that are comfortable, supportive, and decrease their risk for falls.
and I definitely understand that not realizing that you injured, something because even you don't even have to be a senior for that.
Mm.
So, because even me, tearing my meniscus has led to
Mm.
years of not fixing it and now needing a knee replacement at my age. And it's so
Wow.
I can only imagine if a senior goes without, properly getting care for, from a fall because of course, their body is a little more fragile.
Hmm.
So, so
Absolutely.
we have a question. Ms. Fowler asks, "How important is the proper shoes?" I think we kind of talked about it, but if you have
Yeah.
anything
So
else,
it's crucial. It literally can be the difference between life and death. So you can imagine how we're talking about how a senior can experience a fall that can result in surgery as an intervention. Then we're talking about the things that can happen negatively, the outcomes that can occur, blood clots. And then some people, they have heart conditions where they can't even really be a good candidate for surgical intervention after their illness is so exacerbated. For you, you're speaking, from a personal viewpoint or vantage of you need a knee replacement. For you, you're going to bounce right back, Missy. I know you will.
Mhm.
But for a senior, and then we're talking about people 65 and older, you know, a fall that results in surgery can literally impact how they're able to live independently for the remainder of their life. So it's crucial.
It is, and I'm just so happy that you've taken on this. I'm so glad that you're taking this on because it is so important, and it's really
Mhm.
woke me up. It's opened my eyes even more to see how important it is for seniors, and I just really want to come alongside of you with this collection effort. So,
Wow.
how do you? What is the source, or how do you plan to collect and distribute these shoes as you start your collection?
So just by your statement, it just reinforces my belief that in Texas, particularly Austin, people have giving hearts. They want to serve. This is a big community with big hearts. I want to collaborate with local organizations, churches, even shoe stores to see, can you donate shoes to the organization or people. Many people have shoes in their closet that are gently worn, that they either just don't want to wear anymore or they've outgrown the shoe. Um so I'm hoping to partner with people in the community on an intimate personal basis, but also to partner with larger organizations that understand the need for the senior to be able to remain in the home and are willing to kind of either donate or volunteer. Do you want to be a distributor? Do you want to help in the collection of the shoes?
That
So
is
there's
awesome.
many different ways people can contribute to this effort, and I just hope people can figure out what way can they offer assistance, and we're here to help them with that too.
That y'all do y'all hear that in the chat? There's opportunities to come alongside Shirlette for souls to souls. And
Souls to souls.
we'll have to put her information in the description and also in the chat. Shirlette, if you have an opportunity, you can also type your contact information, or we can do that at the end of the show. But I definitely want to get whatever connections we can make here. I just want to get it out so that we can definitely move souls to souls forward. I'm excited about
Thank
that.
you.
And when we've talked before, you mentioned that you don't want this just to be a local community effort. That
Mhm.
you eventually want to make this a worldwide effort, and I support that
Yes.
too. So, what is your vision for moving in that direction?
So my true vision for Souls to Souls is for it to expand beyond Texas, beyond the United States. I want this to be a global initiative whereby it's not even just shoes. I want prosthetic devices for people that are in lower socioeconomic environments that can't afford that prosthetic device for their leg, related to maybe a issue where they had to have an amputation take place. Orthotics, where people need a special kind of shoe. People with diabetes, neuropathy, getting the same sense where they have the specific doctors that go into specific areas of the world. I want physical therapists. I want shoe companies to donate so that we can ship these shoes across the continent, ship these devices across the continent, and help people all over the world. I specifically want to target Austin to Africa. I want this to be a global initiative, and I want it to start on the continent of Africa.
Oh wow, that's
Mhm.
awesome. And actually, Samuel was actually speaking of. Uh, I wonder if Samuel's still on here because he was actually speaking about a program in Austin that could actually help with this initiative. I'm gonna see if
Wow.
he's still on. Let me see. Maybe we can bring him on. Mr. Samuel, are you still there? You were speaking about an effort in Austin that could maybe help Dr. Charlotte with this effort, with
I
this
just finished
initiative.
up with the circular economy for the city of Austin, and they have a program that they'll actually pay for you to become certified in. And it's about to start up a new session. It's circular economy. It's with the city of Austin, and they also have a pitch contest at the end where you can actually win $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shoes.
Yeah, well, there's also when you get involved with them, you'll see that there's a lot of people in there thinking the way that you're thinking about sustainability. And one of the things I was thinking about when you were talking is that when my mother passed away, if you could have seen the stuff that we gave away, that we could have
Wow.
recycled, and what
Mm.
what we're looking at now is how to you create a longer life cycle of products instead of just wearing them and end up at one time or three times and end up in the dump. We want to be able to see those have a life cycle on those products.
Mhm.
And with the
Yes,
older people,
absolutely.
huge opportunity for you there because they have all that equipment, all that the shoes, the clothing, and everything that these older people can't even afford anymore because inflation is killing these older people right now.
Hmm.
So you could recycle all those products, and most people would be happy for you just to come and haul it off. I know when we were getting rid of all my mother's stuff, we were sitting stuff out on the side of the road, and people were coming through and picking through it. Remember that, Margie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and it was amazing
Wow.
how much product that she had that could have been reused. Because my mother used to dress, she didn't play. She dressed,
Wow.
yeah. And and people don't have the finances to buy new stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
if you looked at how recycling, there was the girl that won the actual a deal. I was happy she won because this girl had started out in her car and built her business to where she was recycling clothing for $3 a garment and giving away clothing to schools to kids that didn't have clothing to wear to school.
Wow. That's
So,
amazing.
so let
I
me ask
love that.
you, Sam,
Huh?
this program that you're talking about. So everyday people, the listeners and the viewers that are on this chat
Yeah,
today,
it's
this
it's a
program
program.
is
It's a program for circularity, for being able circular city sustainability, and it's a part of the Austin Small Business Association. So if you go and just put in there, City of Austin, and then pull up the circular economy part of it, and it'll give you all the information there. Yeah, it was about a six. It was about 3 months that I went to classes every Wednesday night, and they teach you everything about the sustainability aspects. And the good thing about it is you were in there with other people that were in that business and were trying to do the same thing. So you were bumping, just like listening to you tonight. I thought about a bunch
Mhm.
of things that you could be doing that are right out there in front of people to take advantage of and build your business really fast.
Oh yeah, I've already taken your information. I was thinking to myself when I was in the back room, like, I have got to connect with this man. He is amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
will be definitely contacting C2C.
Thank you. And I don't know, we didn't really go into it, but all the information that I gave everyone today was I lecture at 10 different universities on what we're talking about today as far as the Web3 technology. And everybody on here should be ready to understand sustainability, circular economy, and Web3 technology because you're going to be confronted with it full blast here in a very short period of time. And sustainability is going to be the most important part, and that's what I hear you're saying, but I don't see you focusing in on that. And when you focus in on it, you're going to find there's a huge amount of opportunity there that you can take
You
advantage
know, I believe you, Samuel, because of the fact that I I see that there's so many even things that I have that I I I've accepted things from people and I've given things to people. I have things that have are still that I still haven't used 10 years later.
of. Right.
And people ask me, how long that's pretty, or how long you can keep things for a very long time if you um figure out a way to take care of it, first of
Right.
all. But I know
And
your stuff is more detailed, but
well,
yeah, I really want to make sure that people are not just discarding shoes and they're going into some landfill when there's a senior
that
that
could
can use that shoe to continue a very independent,
Mar-
thriving life.
And one other thing you got to think about too is these companies that you were talking about earlier donating,
Mhm.
they're going to have to do something with those excess products every year now. They
Mhm.
can't burn them anymore. It's
can't
against the
burn
law in Europe and in California to do that because of the carbon. You know, we're at 10% already. So you got to figure out something else to do. And if you can give them a write off, they'll give you that stuff for the write off.
Oh wow.
Mhm. That's exactly why I'm on this show with you today. Mhm. Because I'm going to connect with Mr. Samuel, definitely.
Well, you know, what people need to wake up and see, out of chaos comes opportunity. And this is the most opportune time that you've ever seen in the history of the world going right now because everybody's confused. My so-called mega friends, they're mad as hell right now. They are mad. Every time I talk to one of them, I laugh and I'm like, okay, you put him in there.
Well, we're not gonna go there.
I'm not gonna go there, but okay, but I'm laughing because there's opportunity coming that yeah, they're
we,
they're out there. They're getting in another world right now as far as that goes. But anyway, we'll go off to another subject. But there's a lot of opportunity now.
so so we have a question. Is Souls to Souls only for seniors or is it for any age?
So right now, our target audience are seniors and disabled. For the disabled component, it can be any adult 18 and older, but for the senior component, we like to focus on 65 and older, which is our target audience. So this came to fruition because of Manifest Home Health. So being in home health for so many years, I see the catastrophic outcomes from falls for seniors. And in some instances, it's something as simple as their shoes, um, or being miseducated or uneducated about the impact of wearing slippers or wearing shoes that are worn out or wearing socks only in the home. So there are, like I said, there are other reasons why people fall to the cognitive, sometimes the medication. Those are the skill parts that the nursing can kind of come in and help for. But then you also want to do your part because you could talk to people all day about the importance of them taking their medication on time, but or not taking certain medications and the impacts of the medicine. But when they do right on that part and they just don't have the right shoes to wear, then what are we to do? So this can help on that end, the supportive part, the stability part for the footwear.
All right. I just think it's an awesome program that you're going into because I think seniors get sometimes are forgotten. I mean,
Mm,
even especially in I'm not going to go into politics, but especially in this political economy
mhm,
where, so many things, like you said, financially, how can they really afford, you know, a good footwear? They're
mhm,
trying to afford food to eat. They're trying to afford keeping their lights on, especially if they're living independently. So I just this initiative is so wonderful. So I thank you, Charlotte, for bringing it
thank
to
you.
us. Let me see. I don't see anything else in the chat. So we've talked about how we're gonna get this from Austin to Africa. That's exciting. So I guess
Yes,
that's where you're gonna start, but that's not where you're gonna stop, right?
exactly. The end is already, we're going from the end and working our way backwards.
All right. So if y'all hear that, viewers, and in the chat, come alongside Charlotte. If you want to reach out to her, can you give us verbally how can we get in touch with you if anyone wants to come alongside of you and connect?
So you can visit Manifest Home Health website, www.manifesthehomehealth.com. And we do have a community outreach page on our website, and it gives you an opportunity to kind of leave your information, whether you're interested in donating or you're interested in receiving the shoes. And then also you can reach out to me. I am Dr. Shirlette Fowler Oriaki, and you can call us directly, 512-595-1751, Manifest Home Health.
1751.
512-595-1751. Yes.
All right. And I have put that in the chat. And Charlotte, again, I thank you for coming and agreeing to
Thank
come
you,
be a part
Missy,
of
for
the
having
show.
me.
I think fashion saving lives is just an awesome concept. I'm glad that we were able to um, come together with Sam. Let me bring Samuel back up. I'm sure he has some closing thoughts. Do you have any closing thoughts before we come off of here, Charlotte, as it relates
Yeah,
to
my
soul to
closing thoughts
soul?
are. Oh, are you talking to Sam or me? I'm sorry, Missy.
No, you Charlotte, as it relates to soul or
Oh, okay.
manifest
So
health.
yeah, my closing thoughts are that my dog decides to come over here as soon as I'm about to do my closing. Um, my closing thoughts are we are a community of one. So I truly believe Austin as a whole um is a giving community. I know that when one person is in need, I feel like we all step up. So there are thousands of seniors right now who are in need of safe, stable footwear. You have them in your closet probably already. And if you are interested, please reach out, donate. If you know about a resource that's available, like Mr. Samuel was just talking, he knows some stuff, please reach out because we are ready, happy, and ready to get going to get seniors stable and prevent these falls.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you, Dr. Charlotte. How,
Thank
how
you.
about you, Sam?
I,
Sam,
I just I just want to I just want to leave everyone to think about their quality of life and see how they can work on that and focus in on that versus making a dollar, and look at
Mhm.
how they can help other people have a better quality of life and bring joy to the world versus the pain that so many people have.
oh wow, yeah, that's deep. Well, I thank you both. Thank you both for agreeing to be on my show, and as we the purpose of my programs is to help. That's what I'm here to do, to share real stories, real problems, real solutions. But I don't want to sit in the problem. We're looking for the solutions. We want to move forward. That's why we're called the Mojo. We're moving forward. We're moving with momentum. We're not slowing down. So thank y'all for being a part of my movement. And so until next time, keep it real and keep your mojo. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. Hello, welcome to the Real MoJo with Missy Djomo. So let me break it down for you. When I say real, I mean just that. I'm coming to you raw, I'm coming to you unfiltered and authentic. You won't see me dressed to the nines because that's not my focus. My focus is not on looks, it's on the content. This show is about real life, real issues, and real solutions. And let's be honest, it's not always pretty. In fact, at times, it's downright unattractive. But here's the thing. I'm going to share real experiences from my own life and from the life of others who will join me on this show. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a real person sharing what I've learned as I've lived life along the way. Now let's make it clear. I'm not here to tell you a rags to riches story because that isn't me. But what I am here to share is a rags to out of the ditches story because life has thrown me in some ditches and I know it's thrown some at you too. The point is not staying stuck in them, but finding the strength to climb out of them. Now let's talk about MoJo. For me, MoJo stands for momentum. It stands for movement. It stands for I'm moving forward. Because we're not here just to talk about the struggles and sit in them. We're here to figure out how do we move forward? How do we turn a situation that feels heavy or hopeless into something beautiful and full of purpose? How do we go from A to Z? That's the heartbeat of this space. And that's what it means to be a part of the Real MoJo family. So if this resonates with you, I invite you to push that subscribe button, join the conversation, and grow with me in future episodes. Until next time, keep it real and keep your mojo. I'll see you soon.